GM has finally decided to join the truck EV game. Well, kind of. I mean, they did. It's just going to take a while before you can get one. Like, almost 2 more years. And maybe that's not a bad thing? You know, I haven't talked EVs in a while, but honestly, there hasn't been much EV news worth talking about. Until recently. Hey, what's up? It's Andrew. If we're meeting for the first time, awesome. I'm all about tech, tutorials, gadget reviews, and news like in this video. So if you get any value from this video, you should consider subscribing for more. So CES wrapped up with nobody there early this year, and I have to say one of my favorite trends of CES over the last couple years is that EVs, since they're techie, we get to see new EV things shown off there every year. We'll see if that continues if CES happens again. I mean, there were also 7 EV commercials during the Super Bowl. The notable EV news this time around was the unveiling of GM's new Chevy Avalanche. Wait, no, I mean the new 2024 Chevy Silverado EV. And yes, I said 2024, like 2 years from now. Like 2 years after you can order and probably take delivery of your F-150 Lightning EV. But you know what? Wait a second. The last time we talked EVs, when I did a video on the F-150 Lightning, I did have a reservation on a Cybertruck. The F-150 made me rethink it, and I have since canceled that reservation. I'll leave a link to that video in the video description if you want to go check that out. But hear me out. It wasn't the F-150 Lightning that it was more badass than the Cybertruck. It probably won't be. The teaser we got on the Cybertruck was really freaking cool, which is why myself and many others placed $100 reservations 2 years ago. But then Ford decided to come out with an EV truck and added some features that I thought not only were really cool, but also added a ton of value to it. Then this brings us to the 24 Silverado EV, and for the record, no, I didn't reserve myself an F-150 that I am going to have to cancel. I've become way less impulsive since my Cybertruck days. But you know what? Since Ford unveiled the Lightning and all its new features, Chevy had some time to decide what it could do to its own EV to one-up Ford. Although you could probably get your new F-150 Lightning EV this year, waiting for the Silverado EV might actually be kind of enticing. GM may be a little late, but it also has a leg up here. They get to see the F-150 specs and beat them to stay more attractive. First of all, their claim of up to 400 miles of range and an entry point of sub 40K for some buyers is pretty huge. Now mind you, you probably won't get that range for that price. That price looks like it's for the entry-level work truck model, so it's a little deceiving. The other model available, the RST First Edition, can be had at a claimed 105K. So, okay, maybe that doesn't help their case against Ford, where a maxed out F-150 Lightning can be had in the mid-90s. There still is a lot to like. Like Ford, Chevy stuck to a true name here, the Silverado, and merely added the EV moniker, which should help lure Silverado enthusiasts. Maybe. You know, instead of calling it the Silverado Electron or something stupidly forced onto the name to make sure people know it runs on electricity. We know. Also, like the Ford, it has a lockable frunk, which is one of the more appealing features of an EV trunk. The Silverado should be plenty fast off the line too, because, well, electric motors. Chevy claiming 0 to 60 time in 4.5 seconds, which is damn fast for a truck. That's about on par with what Ford claimed for the F-150. To achieve that, the Silverado is targeted to have 664 horsepower and 780 torques in Silverado's wide open watts mode. Yeah, that's wow, if you were paying attention. I told you EVs were fun. Some things that set it apart from the F-150 are things I honestly didn't know were that useful, like all-wheel steering. Of course, it will have a giant screen on the inside, and it will feature GM's industry-leading Super Cruise hands-free driver assist tech. That thing sounds awesome. I have yet to try it out. But this is something they still charge extra for instead of offering as a standard feature. But I guess if people are paying for it. With charging, Chevy really took a step forward by claiming that both versions being released will support DC fast charging speeds up to 350 kilowatts for an estimated 100 miles of range for every 10 minutes of charge. The F-150, on the other hand, only supports up to 150 kilowatts of DC fast charging on Ford's charging network for an estimated 15 to 80% charge in 45 minutes. That's a huge range. So potential big leg up to Chevy. The Silverado also just beats out the Ford with available onboard power delivery for powering all of your gear on the job site or wherever else, offering 10.2 kilowatts to the Ford's available 9.6 kilowatts. Even so, the Ford has my favorite feature of an EV available so far, and that is the ability to use it as a backup battery for your home. The only EV claimed to be able to do that so far. Instead of that, on the Silverado EV, you get a bed design and aerodynamics that have been reintroduced the first time since the Chevy Avalanche. I know. Isn't that one of the first things you notice about this truck? Basically designed to be the modern Avalanche, with its sail panels on the side for improved aerodynamics and the next generation of its multi-flex midgate, which is kind of cool. It extends the bed of the truck into the cab to haul extra long things, like, kayaks. But is anyone going to buy a new Chevy Avalanche EV? I find this design feature a little strange. This is not limited to the RST model either. The work truck has the same Avalanche design. Should we expect all Silverado EVs to look like this? It's probably unlikely. I would expect them to offer this truck in a regular and extended cab as they do today's Silverados. I mean, why not? In the end, EV competition for trucks is good for you and me, or basically anyone interested in an EV truck. These things are only going to continue to be more feature-packed in order to compete, and the battle to top the other in specs will be very interesting to watch. Which really leads us to wonder, how can they really improve that mega power frunk? If you want to hear my thoughts on that Ford F-150 Lightning, click here to check out that video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.